What is like being a black man in America? That question deserves a long statement, but I mean, to give it to you most raw is very hard. Well, being a black man in America, I mean, you know how you hear it on TV. I mean, it's just one of those things that's not easy. It's not ever easy being a black man in America because you always gotta, you always gotta portray a certain thing. Like you always gotta be hard or something like that. You can't just be like the person who just loves listening to like the white chick songs or anything like that. So you just can't. You gotta be a hard person. Like not a hard person, but you gotta be like you can't be soft being a black man in America. Well, at first, I was attracted to lighter complected women. I still am, but now I'm less like, I'm more willing to go outside my boundaries because I know beauty isn't just, light complected women. I love every type of women. I feel like when you're young, you're really dumb. You haven't learned a lot of things, and as you get older, you know that beauty is not just for lighter people. Beauty is in every shade of dark or black. So I feel like it's changed that way. I've gotten smarter about my choices because all my family is like really light complected. I had everybody in my family is light complected except for me. So I was taught from a young age that, the women in my family were beautiful. So I didn't try to find anything outside of the women in my family that looked that way. That sounded bad. I didn't try to find any women who weren't the same color as the women in my family at a young age. So that's how it changed. I mean, yeah. The difference in the most easiest difference to spot is colorism is your own people forming a prejudice against you, and racism is, racism is basically you having the power to change another person's life because, you're in the majority, not the minority. I guess you can say that. I don't want to say white, but hey.
Protests have broken out overnight in the U.S. state of Missouri after a black teenager was
The family of a black man killed by Minneapolis police is demanding justice after
with the people they are policing, especially white cops in black communities. First, black people dying at the hands of police, a common tragedy in America that now sparks protests and raises questions about how police do and should interact with black citizens.
I feel Black Lives Matter, that thing, I feel like it's a very valid statement because, police brutality is something that people suffer from every day, and some of it is unknown, so I really feel like it's a very valid statement, but at the same time, we take it out of proportion when we only say Black Lives Matter only. Some people say Black Lives Matter only, and some people say Black Lives Matter also. And the also one, that makes you, that basically says that you understand that everybody suffers police brutality, but us as black men or black people, we suffer it more. I'm not gonna say more, but we have felt it at a more, I don't know how to explain it, we felt it more because I don't know what it is. It's just that I don't know what it is that make police not like black people. Not like black people, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, police brutality is a real thing. I feel like I'm for the Black Lives Matter, but not to the extent to where I'm very pro-black, but I'm not to the extent to where no other lives matter to me. You get me? So yeah, that's how I feel about that. If I can compare anything to slavery, modern day, I feel like the closest thing to slavery now is prison. That's plain and simple because some people who are in prison don't deserve to be in prison. Anybody knows that, but it's more so because prison is, you see more black people in prison more than anything. Like you see more black people in slavery in the U.S. more than anything. Even though there was other races in slavery, I feel like prison is the closer that equates to it, because prison takes control of the mind first. I mean, if you have many prisoners in prison, you have a little bit of wardens and, you know, cops and all that, not cops, but prison officers. You have a little bit of prison officers, and that's what a slave plantation was. You had one owner, and then you had, like, you know, people who watched over their slaves. And I feel like that's why prison is most closely related to slavery. Okay. I would choose the most influential black person that I know, that everybody knows. And I would think I don't want to be mainstream, but I feel like that would be Martin Luther King, because he had a very persuasive tone about him, and he didn't do it like how Malcolm X did it. Malcolm X was a very smart man, but he did it violently. And when you come out of a situation with a violent stance, it doesn't get the same reaction as when you come out of a situation with a smart stance. Like, he came politically correct, and he made people see different ways to things. So I feel like I would bring back Martin Luther King, because he had a way, you know, he could talk to people easiest, I guess you can say, and more people, you know, felt safe listening to him, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I'll bring back Martin Luther King. Okay, so I feel like certain races are programmed to be afraid of black men. Okay, so there was a book written a long time ago by a slave owner, a popular slave owner. I forgot what his name was. But he was basically telling all the other slave owners how to, you know, how to take control of your slaves. And he was basically explaining in that book that the black man they were called the super predator back then, because the black man had things about him that no other man in the U.S. had back then. And I guess you can say we were built stronger or whatever. Like, they had other slaves. They had white slaves. They had Asian, Mexican. They had all other slaves. That sounded politically incorrect, but they had all other slaves. But black people were built for, like, we were built to endure a lot of stuff, and that scares them, because once you put bronze with brains, that's like very, like, it's something that you can't, like, you can't combat that, because you already have the power. Now you have the mind, and that's when you have that, you have everything. You can't lose. That just makes me feel that I have to live every day like I should. You know, I have to live it makes me feel more woke when I see stuff like that, because when I see stuff like that, that means I could be next. It could be my brother, my dad, or anything like that. They could be next, so I want to live every day like it would be my last, because it could be my last. Because of the times that we're in nowadays, you could be shot. Just being an innocent bystander, you could be shot. And that was any period of time, but more so now, because even though they say racism is not around, it's still around. It's more prevalent. You can see it in the inner city places when people get shot most, because more minorities are there, and more minorities are getting shot. I mean, it is probably like, you know, black on black, or, you know, Hispanic on Hispanic, you know, crime, but it's still like, it still just shows that you should live every day like, you know, it's your last. They don't want to hear that, you know, they don't want to hear that, but